I think the first thing that marketers need to understand and recognize is that there's not going to be a single path to precision post-cookie, like there's not a silver bullet. I think one thing I try to stress is that first-party data is not going to be the sole answer. We really need to think about a much broader approach to how we help our clients understand their consumers in a post-cookie world. We really talk about a future where data diversity, data collaboration, and data science with the power of AI and privacy-enhancing technologies is really being that recipe, not just data collection. So what we're telling our clients to do is look at testing new contextual signals, things that maybe weren't looked at with the same kind of lens as they could now, things like weather and location, things like using sales data, brand share, brand affinities, and using that as a way to find relevance that we can connect to privacy-safe personalization. And I think personalization gets kind of a bad rap in the post-cookie world, but what is personalization other than just ensuring that we can predict and deliver increasingly relevant experiences over time? So I think that is one thing. Think about new signals. The other thing we're asking our clients to do is think about new analytical data frameworks, right? Things that aren't people-based or aren't cookie-based, but linking and anchoring data around location, around time, around geography. That allows us to create a data model that we can use to inform everything that we do, right? From media to creative to channel planning to business planning. So I think that's where we're really pushing our clients to think more broadly about data strategy. And then of course, test, as you said. Not just those data signals, but also different paths to activation. Whether that be direct identity matching through clean rooms, whether that be universal ID solutions, or whether that be kind of those cohort and contextual-based solutions driven by data science.
So, this future, present/future that you're talking about, sounds really exciting. So I have to ask this question: are you phased? And I say you Brian, you the agency, and with your clients, are you phased by third-party cookie deprecation, or is this sort of a nice Trojan horse into something new?
I would say it's the latter, right? Because I'm really excited about giving data science a broader stage. We've already been working for many years on, especially on the measurement side, as attribution has, we've all uncovered the flaws in attribution methodologies, especially as walled gardens have emerged. So the ability to build predictive models on more aggregate level data sets, I think is really powerful. I don't think it's something that brands should shy away from. I think they have to change their frame of reference in terms of how they think about, especially attribution, how they think about performance measurement. But there is so much rich data that we can still get our hands on to inform really powerful predictive analytics right now.
So, and not to call out any brands, and I'm sure your brands don't fall in this category, but are brands shying away right now from making big, difficult decisions or making big investments in this area?
I think brands are struggling from a little bit of focus and a little bit of organizational alignment because there's so much fragmentation. There are so many alternatives. It's hard to digest, and let's be honest, the past 4 years of starts and stops of cookie deprecation preparedness have not helped either. So I do think that brands are ready, but they need the right structure, a structured plan that allows for agility, right? Because there's still changes to come in tech policy and privacy regulation, but with the right structured approach, and certainly we can talk about how we're helping our brands do that, we can get brands excited, we can get them focused, and we can start to find real solutions, at least things that we can start to build some momentum around. And I think that's been the biggest challenge. It's just hard to maintain momentum with so much change.
So you talk about structure.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit about who is making these decisions at holding companies right now. So we've got digital investment teams, we've got agency data leads, we've got the holding company data leads, we've got product folks at holding companies.
Yeah.
Where are these decisions being made? Can you kind of map that out for us a little bit?
Yeah, I think the important thing is that everyone needs to come to the table. right? And I don't think that because of the importance of the types of data that you're using, the methodologies that you're applying, the different pathways to then find scale and activation ecosystems, it really can't just be one individual at an agency. So at Group M, we're really taking, we talk about it as kind of like a squad model to everything that we do, but nothing, that is applied nowhere more than in how we think about testing and experimentation around post-cookie solutions. So, for example, we built just this past year, we've built what we call an identifier dependency assessment framework that allows us to look at clients' media spend and look at the risks that lie in that spend to deprecating cookies or other device identifiers. And we run these audits that looks across not just data strategy, not just measurement strategy, not just media strategy, but looks across all of those things. So it brings in stakeholders from media investment, from data and analytics, from strategic planning, to make sure that we're finding really where there is resiliency or not in a client's strategy and investments to date. And then we're actually using a bit of AI, which is interesting, to create kind of prescription action plans that we can hand back to those client teams as a starting point. Go look at these types of tests, go look at potentially investments or RFIs or RFPs in these types of technologies, and that becomes a way to get folks on a collective roadmap and a shared roadmap, and that's something that we intentionally did at the group level, at a collective level, not only so that we can be structured about it, but also create some benchmarks, right, with client confidentiality at the heart, of course, but some collective intelligence about where clients sit against their peer set, where agency teams sit, and we can all kind of move forward together. So I hope that answers your question, but it's really a collective. It can't just be media investment or just data or just planning.
Is there a tip of the spear? And it does answer the question for sure, but is there a tip of the spear where there's one part of the organization that's kind of leading this, either on the agency side or on the client side, or both?
Yeah, I think the client side is interesting, but I'll answer the agency side first. I do think the data strategy and analytics teams are elevating or being certainly tasked to elevate their expertise in this space. My group specifically, we really pride ourselves for being much more than just, kind of a media measurement and reporting team, but really a team that's thinking about how do we use data in more future fit ways. So I do think if I had to kind of pick, it would be the data teams and the investment teams, because all of the great ideas that we could have from a data strategy standpoint, if they can't be scaled in the activation endpoints, if they aren't embraced by our media partners, then it's all for naught.
Okay, last question for you, and obviously not looking for you to tell us actual statistics or brands or what have you, but can you give us a little bit of a sense about how testing is working so far, if you had to kind of benchmark it against cookie solutions, third-party cookie solutions?
Yeah, I'll talk broadly about a testing program that we're launching, and I'll talk about a specific test that we've run recently. Obviously, everyone's minds are on Google right now with the 1% announcement and the chart, the march towards, I should say, cookie deprecation. We have launched a program, a large-scale program that creates a kind of codified and collective approach for our largest advertisers, our most progressive advertisers, to test privacy sandbox solutions in Google Chrome environments ahead of cookie deprecation. That is effective immediately. The goal of that is to create some collective intelligence and learnings for all of the participating advertisers. So again, through anonymized and aggregated feedback that we can share across the group, but then also with Google to make sure that we're applying the right sort of perspective and feedback to them on how to enhance and iterate their solution. So that's on kind of the Google front. But importantly, as I said, it's about multiplicity. It can't just be about privacy sandbox. It can't just be about cookie replacement technologies. Another area we're testing a lot in is universal ID solutions. So we did a test for a large CPG advertiser that wanted to partner with a media partner to do a UID integration for the purposes of kind of understanding first-party targeting opportunities, campaign measurement impacts, and importantly, the opportunity for first party and media partner data collaborations are really interesting because as signals deprecate, advertisers want to understand who their customers or consumers are in those walled media environments. What does the media partner know about my customer that I don't? In particular, what they wanted to focus on was how does a UID solution help improve the targeting accuracy in the addressable universe in CTV versus device identifiers. So what we were able to find is that although match rates are still kind of low in these nascent technologies, we were able to find that where there was a match, the addressable universe size of the UID audience versus the device identifier audience was quite significantly larger. And we were seeing, and we're creating tests and learns the same way we test any other data type, right? You're looking for comparable or improved incrementality versus cookie-based tactics. And what we found were very comparable results, meaning that we're able to get a stronger, higher fidelity match into the addressable universe we want, and we're not sacrificing performance. And again, these are early learnings, but they are directional and momentum building learnings to continue to test these different solutions and these different activation mechanisms.